Hello and welcome, dear students, to the retailing lesson on store operations, store assistant. Today this is the third lesson in our series, and we are going to discuss about store and non-store retailing. What is it? Let us find out from one of the students who has researched on it, and then we will continue.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. I'm Krushi, a student of grade 8A, and today I'll be speaking about non-store retailing and store retailing. So what is non-store retailing? It is the selling of goods and services outside the confines of a retail facility. It would also be a term describing retailing taking place outside of shops and stores. So there are many different forms of non-store retailing, such as electronic commerce, off-premise direct selling, and distance selling. It also includes services such as vending machines, direct-to-home selling, telemarketing, etc. It also has some advantages such as it could increase the levels of sales and purchase of the products. It also has increased profits, sustainability of the supply and demand in the market, and has an efficient input and output. So on the other hand, it also has some disadvantages, like it could be unreliability of the sales and purchases from the consumer. So now let's go to store retailing. What is store retailing? It is when the store uses a space to display products where customers can purchase them. It would also be known as a place of business, usually owned and operated by a retailer, but it could also sometimes be owned and operated by a manufacturer or by someone other than a retailer. So it also has some advantages, like with a retail outlet you can sell a variety of products and expose customers to items that they didn't even know they needed. By merging a variety of merchandise in one central location, you can dramatically increase your sales potential. You can also save on shipping costs. Thank you.
Having understood the basic idea of store and non-store retailing from Khushi, let us proceed step by step and delve into the finer details of store retailing and then non-store retailing. In this lesson, we'll try level best to cover all the areas of store retailing and hold back the non-store retailing for the next lesson after the examinations. Let us begin. In India, a variety of retail stores exist to deliver different products to the end consumers. Retailing can be classified as a store and non-store retailing, and then let us proceed to know what are the retail storing on the basis of ownerships. And after that we'll go to consumers in the next stage. Now on the basis of ownership, we have the very first one, that is an independent retailer. Independent retailer is a person who owns and operates with the family members or assistants. He or she has the direct contact with the customers. For example, the local bania, the kirana or store owner, and the panwalas. He or she decides the retail strategy depending on the store location and the product mix. These kind of store retailers are those who own a small shop or a space for selling the goods that they have. Let us see one such example. An independent retailer, this is a vegetable vendor who has got a small space to sell whatever he has. So this is his little store, a space from where he sells. Next we have the chain retailer or a corporate retail chain. When a significant number of outlets are operated by a single owner, it is called a retail chain. Chain retailers are offered by the same type of product, store environment and sales promotions. For example, Reliance, Bata, Arrow, Louis, Philippe, Food World, etc. Now this particular, if you have noticed that, for example, a particular chain, the outlet or the retail will be designed in the same manner, and all the chain outlets will be having the same kind of layouts. Let us see one such example, chain retailer or corporate chain retailer. You can see the way the design is built in the same manner, the layout, organization skills, everything is similar in all the chains of a retailer. Next we have franchise. Franchising or franchise. Franchise is a legal contract between a company or a franchisor, franchisor is the person, and the store owner, the franchisee, which allows a store owner to conduct business under an established name, for example, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Weinhausen. Now over here what happens is that, for example, McDonald's is a established name in US, and somewhere far off in another country someone wants to open an outlet, McDonald's. So that person can get in touch with the McDonald's in order to open a franchise. That means that a new owner, that person can carry the label McDonald's. They will have all the products of the McDonald's, and that person will have the sales to himself, and a great percentage of that franchise price will be paid to McDonald's. That is how it operates. In layman's term, the contract and understanding can be read further by the students for a better understanding. One such example, let us see, we have an example of McDonald's over here. Then next we have consumer cooperatives. A consumer cooperative is a retail store operated by member customers. This type arises largely because of dissatisfied consumers whose needs are not fulfilled by existing retailers, for example, Apna Bazaars in Mumbai, etc. In the UAE, you have union cooperatives. These kind of cooperatives function in a manner that they provide prices which are just below the market prices, and those are actually budget areas where people can purchase goods and products at a reasonable price. Let us see one such consumer cooperative store. This is in the store is in India. Now we have seen owner based kind of retail stores. Now let us see what are merchandise based purchase stores. That means what stores are based on merchandise. Merchandise, what is merchandise? Let us understand. That is what we sell, and that is merchandise. One is called a convenience store. Convenience. As from the name you can make out convenience store. These are small sized stores located in residential areas. They are open for long hours and offer a limited line of convenience products like eggs, bread, milk, vegetables, etc. I believe back home in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, we all have seen these kind of stores which are in the locality. These stores sell essential goods, and these are in the locality. That means serving to a small crowd only. Convenience store. Next we have supermarkets. Supermarkets, we have two such examples are large retailing stores selling a huge variety of consumer products, mostly food items of household use and grocery with a low marginal gain. It operates on a self-service style but has a high turnover. It offers minimum services and operates on the cash and carry basis. We have seen examples of supermarkets in our locality, and we are familiar with that. So supermarkets are slightly bigger than groceries, and because they are slightly bigger, they have more goods available, they are able to offer slightly lower prices than groceries. Let us see the exact two examples mentioned over here. We have seen supermarkets with food items, goods. This shows certain clothes and other items sold, and the other picture shows additional material that is saleable at the supermarket. And it depends on the owner. An owner can keep a great variety or a great quantity. Both ways it operates. In the next category, we have hypermarkets. Hypermarkets are slightly bigger than the other stores that we have discussed so far. A hypermarket, from the word itself, you can make out hyper. It is bigger than the expected market. Hypermarket is a combination of a supermarket and a general merchandise store. It is a very large store, typically at destinations locations. They are designed to attract customers from a significantly large area with their low price offers, unique range and other offers. It follows the self-service style. That means these, if I were to tell you again layman's term, if the entire items that you want to buy in a town or in a city, if you go to a hypermarket, you will be able to purchase all the goods from under one roof. Such hypermarkets, the examples that we know in the UAE are Nesto, Carrefour, etc. Okay, now we have seen one such example over here, that we can see clothes, we can see accessories, we can see children's stuff, and if you go to other areas you will find ladies then gents area. Then if you go to the first floor, you will find maybe supermarket area, the departmental store, the vegetable vendor, the butcher, and other such areas within the hypermarket. Proceeding further, specialty stores. What are specialty stores? A store specializing in one type of product or merchandise or single line of goods, furniture, jewelry, household, consumer, electronics, sports, domestic appliances, etc. is termed as specialty stores. For example, you have seen certain brands, certain cricketers, etc. They have opened up their own outlets. Someone has got a ready-made garments outlet, so that is the speciality of only that particular store, that they sell ready-made garments. Certain stores will sell only furniture, certain stores will sell only jewelry, certain stores will sell only electronics. So those are specialty stores, specifics to the item mentioned. Let us have a look at it. A specialty store, well, this particular specialty store looks like a store of accessories, or maybe bangles. Let us proceed further and see what is the next category. Departmental store. The name is very familiar to all of us because we find a number of departmental stores in the UAE. Departmental stores are those stores offering a variety of goods under a single roof. How is it different from a hypermarket? Let us find out. It is located in central places and a busy locality. It requires capital to maintain different departments and huge stocks of goods. The profit or loss is calculated on the entire stock. That means from each area of the departmental store, say from electronics, from butchery, from green grocers, from the aisles of coffee, tea, cereals, etc. From each area, whatever the sale has gone by in the on daily basis and on weekly basis, monthly basis, the profit or loss is calculated on the entire stock. It is a combination of decentralized buying and decentralized selling. If you see, we as trainees, we have a ROSA departmental store. ROSA is Retail Operations Store Assistant. So our departmental store also has different independent areas, and we as trainees, we are functioning in those departmental areas. And we have got our own calculations, our own accounting, our own stock taking, and our own way of ordering from the suppliers or from the manufacturers or the producers. So we are though functioning independently within the departmental stores, but this decentralized functions get centralized when calculation of stock is done by the owner. They establish restaurants inside these stores and also provide home delivery services. Now, in these particular departmental stores, there are many such areas which provides a number of services. You can see that you have seen departmental stores where you can take a trolley, go around. Maybe when you finish from one departmental store, you check out with your bags kept in the trolley and you enter into another part of the departmental store. Say for example, you have gone to buy ready-made garments on the first floor. You check out from there and you go to other places. You can keep your receipt and the bags in your trolley and then get into another part of the departmental store. Proceeding further, catalog showrooms. This is quite interesting for the students to know, and this is a completely one place where the capital is not used in, not required in a large quantity. Catalog store retailers usually specialize in hard goods, houseware, consumer electronics, etc. The customer visits the showroom and makes his or her choice of the products using the catalog mentioning the code number of the items. Here in the showroom, you need not place a number of items. You just keep booklets on the shelves, and those booklets are used by or seen by the people and they purchase. This is an example of a catalog store. You can see the catalog showroom has got booklets, the album kind of booklets, or it has got catalogs. You must have seen certain layouts with the cloth material attached to it, as many as 20 or 24 with different shades, different material. So for cloth material, paint, etc., you have catalog stores. They keep these catalogs, they take the order from the customer and they supply the goods from their warehouse. Then we have discussed retail services, retail based on store ownership, and retail based on merchandise. That means the quantity of merchandise, small scale, larger scale, hyper scale, all at different levels. Now, and we have also discussed the catalog kind of showroom. Now coming to non-retailing, non-retailing will be discussed in the upcoming class. That is the most lucrative business if you were to take my opinion. Why? Because you don't need a physical space for either purchasing or renting out. So that means whatever you are earning, the entire profit is your own. So that is how it is known as the most lucrative business, as you don't need a space for functioning, any spare space for functioning, either warehouse and the shop as well. You know that every retail unit, though that is the front office, but you don't need spare space also. That spare space means a warehouse or a place to keep your goods somewhere in the warehouse or store place. So in these both are not required. You need to explore this on your own and wait for the class which will resume after the half yearly examinations. As the next week we have the half yearly examination, and the week after that the class will also fall in the half yearly examinations. So most probably you will resume your vocational class on store operations store assistant after a fortnight. Now let us have a look at the students' presentations and discussions. Aditya and Alvin are into a discussion. Let's hear them out.
What is a retail store? A retailer or retail store is a business enterprise whose primary source of selling comes from retailing. Retailing includes all the activities involved in selling of goods or services directly to the final consumer for personal, not business use, and the retailers may be classified into three categories, namely store retailers, non-store retailers, and retail organizations. So Aditya, do you know anything about non-store retailers
Yes,
and the
the
example?
yes, the definition of non-store retailing is that it is the selling of goods and services outside the confines of a retail store. So it is off the premises of fixed retail locations. Some examples are electronic commerce, off-premise direct selling, and distance selling. One of the best examples of non-store retailing is the e-commerce giant Amazon. So Alvin, what do you know are the types of um, direct selling and store selling?
Okay, so today consumer can shop for goods and services in a wide variety of stores. The important types of retail stores are specialty store, department store, supermarket, and etc. Specialty store. They carry very limited product lines with deep assortment. They offer a wide choice in terms of models, size, style, color, and other important attributes in the assortment carried. And department store. It is a large retail outlet that handles a wide variety of lines of product. It has a wide assortment in each line and is organized into separate departments for purposes of buying, promotion, services, and control. It is sometimes called mass merchandising departmental store, example military canteens. And supermarkets. A supermarket is designed to serve the total needs for food, laundry, and household maintenance products. It is relatively large in size. Its operation is low cost, low margin, high volume, and self-service in nature. So, Aditya, can you say some examples of non-retail, non-store retailing?
The different types of non-store retailing are direct selling, distance selling, and online selling. Direct selling is one of the oldest forms of non-store retailing. It involves retailing goods and services directly to the customers. So, like the salesman or the company comes at your door and offers you products. According to the FTC, direct selling is a blanket term that encompasses a variety of businesses forms premised on person-to-person selling in locations other than a retail establishment, such as social media platforms or the home of the salesperson or prospective customer. The two main business models for direct selling are single-level marketing and multi-level marketing. In single-level marketing, it is a single-tiered system in which sellers are standalone business operators. That means it's a single-person operation and the person itself sells the goods. And in the multi-level marketing, it is a tiered system in which sellers profit from direct sales to customers and by sponsoring other sellers and receiving commission from their sales. So in multi-level marketing is more like a company of people who sell goods. Distance selling. This involves selling goods or services through digital, TVs, by mail order, or by phone or text messages. This one is a lot like the tele shopping that you see in lots of channels. So that is an example of distance selling. Then online selling. Online selling refers to selling products or services over the internet. Buyers land on a seller's website, select something and arrange for its delivery. Most retailers now provide online shopping facilities for customers. In fact, most companies only sell online and have no physical shop people can visit. This form has significantly grown in popularity over the past couple of decades. Online selling has become a great tool for small businesses to have their own online store and website, to sell the products and expand their reach without having to pay taxes or the maintenance of a building. So I invite you to think that store retailing is better.
I think store retailing is better because people can go out freely, taking in their own time and go out and collect, buy, and take whatever they need.
I think that non-store retailing is better because people can buy everything at their convenience, because it is as easy as just sitting on your couch and selecting the goods that you want to buy. So I think non-store retailing is the most convenient method of selling. Also, it makes it so that even small businesses can sell their goods, because if you have a store, then you have to pay for, the tax for the land, the storage of all the goods, and the maintenance of the whole building and other financial uh, drawbacks. So that's why I think non-store retailing is better.
Good morning, my name is Denny.
And I'm Devanandan.
Today we both are going to discuss about the non-store retailing and store retailing. So Dave, what do you think of store retailing?
Store retailing is when the store uses a space to display products where customers can purchase them.
That's nice. Can you give us some examples on store retailing?
Some examples of store retailing are Best Buy, Lulu, Walmart and H&M's. Danny, can you give us some information about non-store retailing?
Basically non-store retailing is it's not a physical store but in online shopping. They sell goods and services outside the confines of the retail facility.
Can you give us some examples?
Some famous examples are Amazon, Flipkart, eBay, etc.
Thank you.
My name is Sharon.
My name is Sanjit.
My name is Yashika.
Retail stores can be broadly classified into
Two categories.
They are store-based retailers and non-store-based retailers.
what is store retailing?
Place of business usually owned and operated by a retailer, but sometimes owned and operated by a manufacturer or by someone other than a retailer, in which merchandise is sold primarily to ultimate consumers.
What is non-store retailing?
Non-store formats are those forms of retailing where end users are served without meeting them in the physical store. Non-store formats are represented by catalog and direct mail retailing, telemarketing, television home shopping, direct personal selling, vending machine selling, and internet selling.
Advantage of store retailing.
Retail outlets allow customers to see what they are buying up close, and opposed to online stores, they provide instant doubt clearing because the customer walks away with their purchases immediately. A friendly and helpful staff also helps to build customer loyalty, ensuring that customers return again and again.
Disadvantage of store retailing.
Low pay and benefits. Comparatively low pay is common in retail, especially for those just starting out. Unexciting tasks, inconvenient hours, lack of job security, dissatisfied customers, unpredictable workflow.
Advantage of non-store retailing.
Advantages of non-store retailing are it is easy to access, a large range of products are available, and products can be bought at discounts.
Disadvantage of non-store retailing.
Disadvantages of non-store retailing are we have to disclose our bank account details / card details. Product which we purchase can possibly be fake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. I'm Krushi, a student of grade 8A, and today I'll be speaking about non-store retailing and store retailing. So what is non-store retailing? It is the selling of goods and services outside the confines of a retail facility. It would also be a term describing retailing taking place outside of shops and stores. So there are many different forms of non-store retailing, such as electronic commerce, off-premise direct selling, and distance selling. It also includes services such as vending machines, direct-to-home selling, telemarketing, etc. It also has some advantages such as it could increase the levels of sales and purchase of the products. It also has increased profits, sustainability of the supply and demand in the market, and has an efficient input and output. So on the other hand, it also has some disadvantages, like it could be unreliability of the sales and purchases from the consumer. So now let's go to store retailing. What is store retailing? It is when the store uses a space to display products where customers can purchase them. It would also be known as a place of business, usually owned and operated by a retailer, but it could also sometimes be owned and operated by a manufacturer or by someone other than a retailer. So it also has some advantages, like with a retail outlet, you can sell a variety of products and expose customers to items that they didn't even know they needed. By merging a variety of merchandise in one central location, you can dramatically increase your sales potential. You can also save on shipping costs. Thank you. Good afternoon, one and all.